Hello boys and girls, we are starting Unit 2, our Order of Operations unit, and our lesson today is about powers and exponents. So our learning targets for today, there's 3 of them. It says, I can write exponents as a product of factors, I can write a power in exponential form, and I can evaluate powers. Here are some questions we would like to think about as we're going through the video here. Maybe take a second to pause and think before you go on. Our questions here, what is a power? Think about that word power. What does that mean? What is an exponent? Maybe you have some previous knowledge with powers and exponents. Maybe it's completely new to you, but just think about what those words might mean. And then we also have this question. If you had to repeatedly multiply, it should be with a Y, one given number, how could you represent that? So what it's saying is, let's say we had 5 and we were multiplying it 30 times over. Instead of writing it out like this, so on and so forth, is there another way that we could write this to shorten it up? Okay, so I would write this chart down in my notebook. These are some new vocab words that we need to know. So copy it down and then we will go through it together here. Our first word in the middle here is powers, okay? Powers are numbers that are written with an exponent. So this is going to be like 4 squared, or 2 to the power of 3, or 2 cubed. Okay, those are numbers like that. Okay, so our powers are numbers, like I said, with that are expressed with a exponent, so that multiplication or that repeated addition shown through exponents. Now, there's different components of powers. One of them is our factors. So for example, let's take our 2 to the power of 3. Our factors for this would be 2, because we are taking 2 times 2 times 2. All right. And our exponent, all right, let's say we had 5 to the power of 3. Our exponent would be this 3. Okay, that's the number of times that we are multiplying the number by itself. Now our base, we'll do that same example, 5 to the power of 3. Our base this time is the 5, so then that's the number that we are multiplying together. Our squared, those are numbers 4 squared or 3 squared, things like that. And cubed are to the power of 3, so that's like our 3 to the power of 3, or our 4 to the power of 3. So those are what powers and our bases and our exponents look like. Okay, here are some examples we're going to look at. This first part says, write each power as a product of the same factor. So the same number that is being multiplied together. So on this first one, 7 to the power of 5, this 7 is our base, and this 5 is our exponent. Okay, so this is saying that we are taking 7 and we are multiplying it by itself 5 times. So to write this as a product of the same factor, we would take 7 times 7, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're taking 7, multiplying it by itself 5 times. On this next one, the 3 is our base and the 2 is our exponent. So we are taking 3 and we are multiplying it by itself 2 times. Okay, now you can try these next few on your own and then come back and check. Our first one here says 6 to the power of 4. So to write this as a product of the same factor, we would write 6. We're multiplying it by 4 times. That's what our exponent is telling us. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. 1 to the power of 3, we are taking 1 times 1 times 1, 3 times over. And our last one here, 9 to the power of 5, we are taking our base of 9 and multiplying it by our exponent of, sorry, not multiplying it by, we're multiplying it 5 times over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. All right, so here it says you can evaluate powers by multiplying the factors. Numbers written without exponents are in standard form. All right, so this word evaluate means to find the value. All right, so we are finding the value of the powers by multiplying the factors together. Okay, and then that's giving it in standard form. So it says here to write powers in standard form and to evaluate each expression. So again, that evaluate there tells us to find the value. So in this first one, we are taking 2 raised to the power of 5. So we are taking 2 and we are multiplying it 5 times over. Okay, so now, since we want this in standard form, we want to go ahead and solve this. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 again is 4. And then bring down this other 2 that we have left. 4 times 4 is 16 times 2 equals 32. So 2 to the power of 5 equals 32. Okay, on this next one we have 4 to the power of 3, so we are taking 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, we aren't done here. We have to evaluate, so we have to actually find the value of it. So 4 times 4 is 16 times 4, that extra 4 that we have. Well, 16 times 4, I know, is 64. All right, so 4 to the power of 3 equals 64. Okay, there's a few more down here that you can try and then come back and check and see if you've got it right. 10 to the power of 2, so we are taking 10, multiplying it by 10, which equals 100. All right, next we have 7 to the power of 3. So we are taking 7 times 7 times 7. Well, 7 times 7 equals 49 times that extra 7. If you need to, you can do our standard algorithm for multiplying. 49 times 7 equals 343. And our last one here, 5 to the power of 4. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Okay. So we take 5 times 5, which equals 25. 5 times 5, again, is 25. 25 times 25 equals 625. All right, our next thing here says numbers with written with exponents are in exponential form. All right, so this is where we have those powers. So our what we're trying to do here is we're trying to write these numbers in exponential form. So we want to have our numbers written with a base and then with our exponent. All right, so what we need to decide is what is our base, what is our exponent. For our base, that is the number that is being multiplied by itself again and again. So in this case, we are taking 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So our base is 3. That's the number being multiplied by itself. Our exponent, how many times is it multiplying by itself? Well, it is, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 3 to the power of 4 because we are taking 3 and multiplying it 4 times over. Okay, try these next ones on your own and then come back and check. We have 5 times 5 times 5. Well, our base is 5. That is the number that is multiplying by itself. We have it multiplying by itself 1, 2, 3 times. So it's 5 to the power of 3. Okay, last one here. We are taking 12 times 12 times 12 times 12 times 12 times 12. So our base, the number that is being multiplied by itself again and again, is 12. How many times is it being multiplied by itself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're multiplying 12 6 times over, so 12 to the power of 6. And that is how you write something in exponential form. Just a reminder that you can always go back and rewatch this video for better understanding. You could look into the book and read through the examples that are in the book. And you could also watch the personal tutor videos and the resources of the online textbook. Make sure that you took good notes throughout this video and wrote down questions that you have to bring to class tomorrow. Now go ahead and go over and take your NICU quiz.